A 1960s Nightmare. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
Jumi Royal Marcoi Malperes, Jumi esta Yuna, Belega, Juvi diziras min?
Mi deseras vin. Kio casas alvareno, kio trincas troda vino, en la mesa de la taco.
Incubus, a horror film released in 1966, has many distinctions. First, it made careers. It stars a pre-Star Trek William Shatner who gained notice in his surrealistic role, a role that may have gotten him into the room for his Star Trek audition. Also, it was shot by legendary cinematographer Conrad Hall, who went on to win 3 Academy Awards for his work on Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, American Beauty, and Road to Perdition. Second, the film was performed entirely in the constructed language of Esperanto. If you want to know more about Esperanto, we have a whole episode on it from May 29th of 2020, an old mini-fail called The Esperanto Language, a link to which will be in the show notes. But I digress. The third and darkest distinction of this macabre, satanic horror film? Its curse, which reached beyond the cast itself and, according to fans and conspiracy theorists, encapsulated bankruptcy, death, and a possible Manson family connection. Let's talk about the 1966 cult classic Incubus and the series of events that led the public to believe in its heartbreaking, deadly curse. Incubus was conceived of by Leslie Stevens, whose science fiction series, The Outer Limits, you may have heard of it, gained a cult following. The show, which was broadcast on ABC from September 16, 1963 to January 16, 1965, was canceled in its second season after moving from Monday to Saturday night, where it competed with comic juggernaut Jackie Gleason. But Stevens loved his Outer Limits team and wrote a horror movie script to make use of their talents. But that wasn't quite enough for the TV director to get his film made. They needed a hook, something to make their film unique. So producer Anthony M. Taylor suggested they shoot the film not in English, but Esperanto. Everyone got on board, and the script was translated into the strange, vaguely Spanish-sounding language, and the actors rehearsed for 10 days to learn their lines phonetically in preparation for the 18-day shoot. Incubus began filming in May of 1965 at the picturesque Big Sur Beach and other parts of Monterey County, an apt backdrop for a film about love, lust, magic wells, and the Prince of Darkness. Set in the fictional village of Nomen Tomb, the premise of the film is that the village had a well that can heal sick and make people beautiful. Because of this beauty element, lots of assholes would come to the village. But along with health and beauty, the village also had a reputation for darkness and demons. Demons like succubi, who would entice tourists looking for that sweet magic well and lead them to their death, offering their souls up to their dark lord Satan. One young succubus named Kia, played by Leslie Stevens' own wife, Allison Ames, is tired of taking souls to hell. She's bored. She wants a challenge. Her sister succubus, Amiel, played by Eloise Hart, warns Kia that pure souls are dangerous, the danger being that succubi run the risk of falling in love with them, and that would be a mess. Kia doesn't care, though. She finds who she thinks is a good boy, a pious clergyman, but he's just as bad as the rest. So then she finds a better victim, a young heroic soldier named Mark. Played by William Shatner, who comes to Nomen Tomb with his sister Arndis, played by Anna Atmar, to heal his war wounds in the well. After a witchy eclipse, Arndis becomes blind from the moon, while Kia convinces Mark to accompany her into the sea. But a moment of seduction turns into something more, and Mark and Kia quickly become attracted to each other. Mark, thinking that this could actually be something, takes Kia to church to show her that an emotional relationship can be just as good as sex. But surprise, surprise, church is like poison to succubi, and she immediately leaves, repulsed. In an act of revenge for Mark daring to show her a Christian way out of her lifestyle, and injuring Kia's sister Amiel summons an incubus pal, played by Milos, in revenge. This man succubus attempts to kill Mark and succeeds in raping Arndis. Kia, who is now dying from her church exposure, goes back to the cathedral where Mark is still hanging out and admits her love for him. But unfortunately, she belongs to Satan, who comes at her in the form of a goat and wrestles her down as she professes that she, quote, belongs to the god of light. I don't want to spoil the film for you, but the ending is somewhat ambiguous anyway. Kia crawls towards Mark, who embraces her as the goat stares the two of them down ominously. Mere weeks after the film wraps, tragedy immediately strikes. Actor Ann Atmar, who played Shatner's sister, Arndis, shocked friends and family when she took her own life. Months after that, Serbian actor Milos Milos, born Milos Milosevic, who played the succubi in the film, murdered his girlfriend Barbara Ann Thomason. Thomason was an actor and a beauty queen. She's got a kind of Marilyn Monroe look to her, and while her and Milos were publicly dating, it was complicated. More than being an actor, Thomason was known for being a celebrity wife, and was still technically married to Mickey Rooney, his fifth wife and mother to 4 of his children. On January 30th, 1966, Milos and Thomas were found dead in Mickey Rooney's Los Angeles house. According to police reports, Milos had shot Thomason with Rooney's chrome-plated .38 caliber revolver and then ended his own life. But some suspect Rooney was to blame, a violent revenge plot against his estranged wife, who was attempting to move on. Despite these heartbreaking incidents, on October 26, 1966, Incubus premiered at the San Francisco Film Festival. There, a group of 50 to 100 Esperanto enthusiasts, quote, screamed and laughed at the actor's poor pronunciation of the language. Not only that, the very public news of Milos and Thomason's death gave the film a scandalous reputation, and not in a good way, and Incubus was unable to find any distribution except in France, where it premiered to French audiences in November 1966. Not directly because of the film's lackluster rollout, but maybe it had an effect, director Leslie Stevens and actor Allison Ames divorced, and Stevens' production company Daystar went bankrupt. But the biggest scandal was to come. For now, let's take a break.
Smoothie King asks, what's that sound? That's the sound of hearts popping out of your eyes when you see Smoothie King's all-new smoothie bowls. These Power Pack beauties are just waiting to be spooned. Our smoothie bowls start with acai or pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, ripe mangoes, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. That's the sound of a smoothie bowl being made fresh, just for you. The new Smoothie Bowls menu, only at Smoothie King.
Priceline presents Go to Your Happy Price. What's up? It's Kaylee Cuoco. When it comes to travel, we all have a happy place. You can see yourself already there. It's beautiful. It might be sunny and sandy for some, neon and urban for others, deserts or rainforests or hiking trails. With Priceline, you can get to your happy place for a happy price with deals you really can't find anywhere else. Like up to 60% off select hotels to Costa Rica or 5-star hotels for 2-star prices in Cabo. Go to Priceline.com and travel to your happy place for a happy price. All right, see ya. I'm off to Miami. No, actually, wow, look at that. No, I'm going to Hawaii now. Ooh, Cancun looks nice. You know what? Belize looks pretty nice this time of year. Or, Palm Springs.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
You doing okay out there?
Oh, it's good. Are you bragging? Oh, you're bragging.
Well,
Hey?
all
all right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
good.
say it. I'll say it.
It's your day in the sun.
Yeah, get out in the sun and make it the day that is yours.
Get a tan. A perfect golden brown tan.
Well, make sure to, sunscreen up. Be safe.
You ruin everything. You ruin all
no
the fun.
fun.
No
fun.
But you're also like, drink a lot of alcohol while you're in the sun.
Yeah, I am
because
like
it hydrates you.
I mean, lots of things hydrate you.
Yeah,
We're
cigarette.
all water. Everything's water.
Yeah, cigarette water,
Ooh, yeah.
alcohol water.
Oh, tell me more.
We want to say hello to anyone who's listening, spreading the good word about Ghost Town, supporting the show. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
About, I wouldn't say more than you know. It's probably as much as you know. Probably exactly as much as you know.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
No, that's it. You got it.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah.
We don't have to say anything else about it, really.
We want to say, yo,
Oh.
to our government. Where would we be without them?
Nowhere.
In this one, they set the SPFs of the sun. Got a real summer theme going on
Yeah,
here.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
don't know.
it.
I'm manifesting. Not that
You're manifesting summer, an
I know.
inevitable season.
I just but it's probably my least favorite season.
Oh, same as hot.
Yeah.
But okay, keep going.
They're like, oh, wait a show. Like, oh, you have a 6-pack, but it's a little bit pale. And I'm like, oh God.
This Barbie has a 6-pack.
They're like, you look like you're about to turn 30, loser. And I'm just put my shirt on
That's
and then
hard.
I just get my Ferrari and drive away.
Oh, that sucks.
We want to say hello to the mayors. You can find this person catching a wave, getting a rip curl, hanging 10.
This is the worst one you've done yet.
Just looking for the big wave, the big kahuna. Won't quit until they find that big wave. Like, no, don't. You know, it's like, I can't unless I find the big wave. I'm not alive, babe.
God damn.
That would be Ashley Matson.
I'm sorry.
And with a metal detector in hand, looking for a big treasure on the beach. Big treasure. Not looking for some old boot.
Gold bullion.
We want the good stuff. A safe filled with gold bullion and diamonds. But also looking for that big find, that big money find. They're like, no, stop. Just take what you can get. It's like, hey, babe. Till I get that big find, I'm not going to stop metal detecting. That'd be Cat Joselle.
I'm sorry.
And looking to pave over that whole beach because it doesn't produce enough money. Wants to put a strip mall and hotel and casino and more hotel and casino land developer Baron. And everyone's like, please, you need to put up enough hotels and casinos, and you've wiped out all the mom and pop stores. When will it end? Listen, babe, I won't stop until I have the biggest casino and hotel. That'd be Charlie Gilbert.
I'm sorry.
And our governor, who doesn't want to find or make anything. And why would they when they're just sitting up in Cloud City? Not the one from Empire Strikes Back, just a different Cloud City. I don't want to get sued by.
No.
There's a lot.
No,
it's they're like, oh, there's more than one Cloud City in this one.
That's right.
Just sitting up, looking down, going, ha 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 ha. Hotels, metal detectors, the perfect wave. Those are all nice. I don't know. Try being omnipotent. Is that the right word?
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
I was thinking about it as I was saying it. I was like, you're going to say this wrong because you dropped out of college so many times. That would be our governor, all knowing. And I based that a lot on her Instagram stories, wondering what this person does, how they do it, why they're so interesting, and why I want details of why all this is happening. I put up a story and it's like, oh, okay, you're lost and alone in the world. Like, you just want people to think you're alive. And it looks like a very boring thing. But their governor is just living it and breathing it. In Cloud City or not Cloud City, that would be
Avian Noble, bro.
Nice.
10.
If you want early access, no chit chat, bonus episodes, just put one up. You want to binge, baby. Got a lot of bonies in there.
Oh,
check them out.
many.
7 days free. You
Not
can
bad.
just listen and then just be like, you know what? I'm good. And you can bail.
Yeah, shut it down.
We don't care.
No.
What do we care?
We like it.
Get what you can. Get what you can from Patreon.
I agree.
Squeeze them dry.
Absolutely.
Bring them down or
Yep.
support us. Either one.
Yeah. Big Patreon.
Yeah.
Who knows? How do you feel about that?
It's patreon.com/ghosttownpod.
All right, I'm going to take a deep breath and compose myself, and then let's get back to the Incubus Curse. After 3 deaths, a divorce, and a bankruptcy, the most shocking aftermath of what some call the Incubus Curse was yet to come. Eloise Hart, who played Sister Succubus Amael, booked steady acting gigs all her life and eventually became the 6th wife of pulp author Hans Habe, a Hungarian Jewish refugee turned best-selling author. The marriage wouldn't last, but the two had a daughter they named Marina Habe. Hart looked after Marina as a child, eventually sending her to Hawaii for college, where she was working towards an arts degree with plans on becoming an actor just like her mom. In any case, after Incubus's release, Marina returned home to Los Angeles. In 1968, Marina and her mom spent Christmas together, a little mother-daughter time before Marina would head back to school in January. On December 29th, Marina and her date, 22-year-old John Hornberg, were out with some other couples at the Troubadour, watching a young stand-up and character actor named Larry Hankin, whom you might know from his much later roles as Carl Alphonse in Billy Madison, Officer Balzac in Home Alone, and numerous sitcom roles. This guy has been in everything, but I digress. Marina and John left the club at 11:30 p.m., arriving soon after at John's Brentwood home. The two, let's just say, spent some time in Marina's expensive sports car outside the house for a couple of hours, and at 3:15 a.m., Marina changed out of her date outfit and into a white turtleneck sweater, a fur-trimmed coat, and brown capris. She then began to drive to West Hollywood, where she lived with her mother on 8962 Cynthia Street. Back in West Hollywood, Eloise Hart was awakened by the sound of a muffler and went to the front of the house to check it out. There she spotted an unknown black vehicle in her driveway. Marina's car was also in the driveway at that point, but Marina was nowhere to be seen. Eloise saw a young man in his 20s running towards the black car yelling, "Let's go," and the car took off. Eloise called the police, who claimed that Marina was taken from her own car, the evidence being that the car's handbrake was set with such force that authorities thought it impossible for petite Marina to have done so herself. Search helicopters circled the area for 2.5 days when, on January 1st, 1969, 4 miles from her home, a couple walking down Mulholland Drive noticed a purse on the side of the road. Inside was Marina's credit cards, makeup, and some cash. 30 feet away from there, a man walking his dog discovered Marina's body down a ravine. There are many conflicting reports on the condition of Marina's body. Some allege that she was killed just hours after her kidnapping, others that she was held captive for over a day and then killed. Though headlines would suggest that Marina was raped and found nude, the official coroner's report was released on January 2nd, 1969, and concluded that Marina was fully clothed, had recently had consensual sex, most likely with her date John Hornberg in her car. She had alcohol in her system and her last meal was vegetarian. She was found with 2 black eyes and blunt force trauma to her head, stabbed numerous times in her chest and neck by multiple knives. Her throat was cut so violently that her left carotid artery was severed, and her liver was lacerated. But none of these wounds were fatal separately, was listed as exsanguination, or death by excessive blood loss. From this, the coroner determined that there was more than one person involved in Marina's murder. Also worth noting, a motorcycle frame was found close to her body in the heavily wooded ravine. Despite 6 detectives and 20 deputies on the homicide case, no suspects were released to the media and Marina Habe's homicide was never solved. But a certain theory has emerged over the years, a theory involving the Manson family. While pretty much every late 1960s unsolved California murder is blamed on the Mansons, or touches on them in some way, Marina Habe was said to have been friendly with some of the Manson family members, like Bobby Beausoleil and Tex Watson. And then there's the motorcycle frame close to Marina's body. At the time, the Manson family ran an illegal car and motorcycle chop shop in the desert, next to Spahn Ranch, making small money by bringing in stolen auto parts. In fact, their 16-year-old supplier, Mark Glenn Waltz, was eventually found shot to death and dumped into Topanga Canyon near Mulholland Drive. But some close to Marina at the time say that this is pretty bogus, that Marina was, quote, too square, a privileged celebrity's kid, and also she was in Hawaii most of her teenage years. But, as the Lost Girls blog notes, Angela Lansbury's daughter Deidre joined the Manson family in the 1960s, despite also being a very wealthy and well-connected Nepo baby. So a connection with the Manson family might seem possible, at least it does to me. Charles Manson was in fact interviewed about Marina's death, but he had an alibi. He was at a New Year's Eve party thrown by John and Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas. Of course, this is Manson, so who knows? Poor Eloise was never able to recover from the murder of her only child, and spent years guiltily obsessing over it. She died at 99 years old in 2017. But let's, for a moment, leave the heartache and loss of Marina Habe's murder and touch back on the film Incubus itself. Strangely, during the late 60s to the year 2000, the film had, for all extensive purposes, disappeared. The original print of the film had been inexplicably burned in a fire, and all copies were reported damaged, destroyed, or lost. Until the new millennium, when a copy of the film mysteriously turns up in France. The Sci-Fi Channel funded the film's restoration efforts, and Incubus was released as a special edition DVD in 2001 that included subtitles in English and French. Despite its resurgence, critics were still not impressed, calling the film, quote, a dud, so pretentious and arty that it nearly drowns in dull, studied technique. and, quote, a noble attempt at bargain basement surrealism. Whatever your thoughts are on this film, nobody can argue that Incubus affected many people, some more permanently and profoundly than others.
You will fail. So what? Everybody does. But your gym, your watch, your yoga pants, they pretend you won't. So when you miss a day, eat the pancakes. Give up on a workout? You failed? Seriously, what the hell? We're Body. We've been a part of that too, but not anymore. At Body, we're rejecting perfection and embracing reality. Not in a Pizza Monday kind of way, in a loving your whole life kind of way. In a, this workout is fun and it's okay if I take a week off kind of way. In an, I'm eating healthy and it's okay if I indulge kind of way. In a, I like myself no matter what kind of way. Yeah, you will fail. We all will. But we're not going to let that be the end. You see that? We're already making progress. So let's keep going. We are Body. Start your free trial at body.com. That's BODI.com.
Okay, here's how Miro works. See, it's amazing.
What's everyone doing at David's desk? Ever since marketing started using Miro's collaborative online whiteboard, he thinks all our other teams should sign up. Why? He says Miro's making his meetings disappear. And if every team gets on it, that means even less meetings. They're using Miro for brainstorms, mind maps, customer research.
So could we use Miro instead of having another 100 meetings for every round of feedback?
Yep. You can comment, react to ideas, even leave a recording on the board.
And what about presentations?
There are Miro templates for that.
How do you know so much about Miro?
I've actually been using it all along. I just used a Miro board to plan the best vacation.
Okay, I'm on board.
See how Miro users save up to 80 hours every year by meeting less and doing more. Get on board at Miro.com with 3 boards free forever. That's MIRO.com.
Did you know that Disney World was originally meant to be a BioShock-style libertarian utopia, and that Walt Disney lobbied the Florida government to allow them to have their own creepy, independent government, which they still have to this day?
Or how about the fact that 90s school supply company Lisa Frank was run by violent, tyrannical drug addicts who abused their employees?
Well, did you know that there's a Japanese guy who killed and ate a woman in the 1970s, but due to a legal loophole was never put in prison and became a weird Japanese celebrity who wrote food reviews for magazines?
Well, actually, we did know all those things because we made episodes about all of them and many more on our podcast, Deep Cuts.
Deep Cuts is a deep dive explainer show that explores fascinating but true stories that you won't believe you've never heard about with deeply researched, sometimes shocking, sometimes hilarious episodes.
The show is like a really juicy documentary for your ears mixed with Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Deep Cuts has new episodes every single Wednesday for free. Just pause the podcast you're currently listening to and go subscribe to Deep Cuts anywhere you get your podcasts.